What's up, guys? So in today's video, we're actually not going to be working on any of my cars or Josh's cars. We're actually working on the leader of my car club's car, the Tri-City Psychotics. So if you have a Scion and you live in the Tri-Cities area in Tennessee, just go ahead and check it out. There's a Facebook page. I'll put it up right here so you guys can see it. But anyway, what we're going to be doing to her car is we're actually going to be changing all the front headlights. She had HIDs in her low beams. Her high beam was still a halogen, and her fog lights were still halogen. And then her turn, she actually has switchbacks in those. So we're going to change the fog lights out, the low beams and the high beams out, all to LEDs, so it'll all look a lot cleaner. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get to it. Alright, so here's the LEDs we're going to be using. So the high beams are 9005 bulbs, low beams are H8, H9, or H11. I guess it's all kind of the same hookup for those. And then the fog lights are also H11s. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and take out her HID ballast and the HID bulbs. Pretty self-explanatory. However you have it mounted in or whatever, you can just unmount the box, and then you'll undo the HID bulb, which is right here. Then we'll have to unhook this harness or plug from her factory bulb, which I'll have to reach down in there to grab. I'm actually going to have a filmer come out here and help me right here in a minute. But anyway, so let's go ahead and we'll do this to both sides, and then we'll start putting in the LEDs. Okay, so here's how these are packaged. As you can see, we've got the ballast out. So now we're going to go ahead and take one of these and put it in. And I'm pretty sure on most LEDs, you're wanting the, let's see if I can get them out real quick. So on most LEDs, you're going to want them to be facing left and right and not up and down, the orientation, because if you go up and down, normally it gives you dead spots. If you remember, we talked about this when I put in the LEDs in my fog lights, and they were up and down because that's where the set screw was. And we're actually going to try to fix that on mine and turn them left to right in the future. So anyway, hopefully these will lock into place left to right and we won't have to worry about it. Alright, so we've got the driver's side in, and it is perfect because the cord is actually going down. I can't show you it in the car, so that's why I'm showing it outside. So the orientation is left and right, and these are correct. So that's one thing about these LEDs. If you guys are looking for them, they do have the orientation right. So now we're going to go ahead and we'll pull that HID ballast out and then put this bulb in on that side. Alright guys, so we got both the low beams in, so I'm going to check them real quick, make sure they're working and everything. Okay guys, so there you have it. There's the top ones on, and then of course, like I said, her turn signals down here, she has the switchbacks in those. So there's what it looks like. A lot cleaner than the halogen looked before. So now let's go ahead and we'll do the high beams. Okay guys, so we're having an issue with the LEDs. As you can see, I did get them on in the last clip, but the polarity is different from a Scion to whoever made the LEDs. So if you look like right here on the harness itself, if you put it in the right way, because here's your positive and negative, and if you clip it in the correct way in here to where it clips like it's supposed to and you can't move it, so it's good and snug, the polarity is backwards, because as you can see, negative is right here, positive is right here. On the stock harness, you got your negative right here and your positive right here, so it's backwards, so it's not going to work, because as you can see on the passenger side, we've got it working the correct way and it's on. So now if you come back over here and you take it out and you flip it around the reverse way and you stick it in, see how the light comes on right away? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out a way to switch the polarity of the LED. Because as you can see, if you're driving down the road, see it's still hooked into this harness, but it's not on because it's too loose. So anyway, Fantelli, they either use a different type of connector than everybody else, or they make their own or whatever, but this bulb for them is messed up for an FR-S, so if you're going to get these bulbs, you're going to have to do the same thing that we're going to have to do right here in a second. Now their high beam bulbs, that we have, which is actually, this is the low beams and this is actually the high beam box. But now their high beams, they work perfect. They clipped in, the polarity was right and everything came on perfect. So that's good by them. And the left and the right was correct too, like how they're oriented in the car. And I'll show you us putting in the high beams in a second, because I was testing that before we got into the whole install. So what we're going to end up actually doing is we're just going to take and we're going to cut this. I don't know if it's going to void the warranty or not, but like I said, I know her really good, and she said that she trusts me. My judgment, if it was my car, I would go ahead and I would cut these off, because I wouldn't want to be going down the road and having a freaking strobe light concert going on because the harness is going in and out. So we're going to cut these, flip the polarity on the plug, solder it back, and then put heat shrink over everything and make it look really nice and clean, and then put it back in the car. So anyway, after we do this fix, if they was to break within the 12-month warranty period, I'll just go ahead and I'll buy her some more bulbs to replace these. But I think at the end of the day, it'll be better if we go ahead and cut these and make the harness fit properly. All right, guys, so we've got them cut apart, as you can see right here and right here. Just be very careful when you're trying to split back this cover that's over the wires, because you don't want to accidentally hit these wires where they're so small. So just take your time with that. So now here's what we're actually going to do. We're going to do some crazy stuff. We're going to flip it around to where the red, just like that right there, and then that'll make the clip be perfect for the OEM stock harness. So let's go ahead and we'll solder it together now. Okay, so now you can see that the black is going to red and red is going to black, and then we went ahead and heat shrunk it really good to protect the wire. And now we're going to pull this heat shrink over all of it and heat shrink it to where it looks really nice. Alright guys, so now we have the heat shrink on it, and as you can see, it looks really good now. So now let's go ahead and we'll test it out. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and we'll put this back in and we'll see if it works. And as you can see now, the harness is in there really tight and good. There's no slop in it, so you ain't got to worry about it cutting on and off on you. So now we'll go right here and we'll turn the low beams on, and boom, there you go. So there's you a good fix. If you guys have a polarity issue with your LEDs, I know a lot of people get LEDs from like Amazon, stuff like that. I've had this happen in my car before too. We just didn't really show you guys that in the film. But this is a good way that you can switch around the polarity and not have to go through the hassle of that harness sliding in and out, or sending them back and then getting new LEDs and all that. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to do the high beam really fast. We've already done the high beam on the driver's side when I was trying to test the polarity stuff and everything. So you're just going to go in here and you're going to grab your high beam, pull it out just like that. So there's what your high beam looks like. So now you're just going to go ahead and push in the clip and then slide the high beam right out. Set it right there for now. Now we'll check our polarity on this one, and as you can see, plus minus, put it in the right way. Hear it click. There you go, it's not coming out. And then we'll put it in here. And it's in there the right way. And then just make sure your clip's good and tight one more time. Now we'll check them and make sure they work. Okay, so there is our high beams on, and of course the low beams off on this side because we hadn't switched the polarity on it really quick. We'll do that in a second. But anyway, as you can see, now the high beams are on. So here on this side you can get the gist of what everything looks like. So now the headlight looks really good, nice and white. No halogen bulbs in there before. Like I said before, she had HIDs in the low beam, so they were blue, but then she still had the halogen bulbs in her high beams. And then there's the switchback and her turn signals. And then we'll go ahead and we'll change out the fog lights, and we'll see how they all look and match together. Alright guys, so here's pretty much the easiest way to do the fog lights on an FR-S. It's a lot better than my TC. So you can take a screwdriver and you'll just take and turn these halfway, and as you can see, it pops out. This one will pop out, do the same thing. And then there's going to be one right up here where your side marker light is. Twist it and do the same thing. And then there actually should be a third one down here at the bottom, but hers is missing. So then you'll just take your trim tool, slide it right in behind there, and pull it out, and you don't have to worry about breaking the clips or anything if you do it like this. So slide it in, pull it out just like that. There's 2. And then the last one right up here, 3. So see how easy that was. Okay, so you can just reach right in here just like this, slide this back. Simple as that. Twist your bulb out. Right here's the bulb. So now we can just reach right here, pull this harness off. Just like that. Now we'll grab our LED. Just right here, which is an H11 on hers. So now we'll go ahead and we'll just put it in place first. So we'll slide it in. Okay. And then we'll grab the harness right here, and then the harness or the pigtail off the LED. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but then we'll take and clip it in. Just like that. Now we're going to test the LEDs and see what everything looks like together now that we have the fog lights in. So we'll turn her running lights on, which will just be those switchbacks she has in her turn signals. Then you're going to go to the low beams, which is right there. We'll turn her fog lights on. So now you guys can see what she'll look like running down the road. And here's what the old fog light looked like, all dirty and ugly. And then here's what it looks like with all the LEDs. Check how much better that looks and how good it just makes the car look more modern. So there you guys go. So now let's go ahead and I'll jump over there and I'll do that fog light off camera, and then we'll go ahead and I'll do that other low beam off camera as well, switch that polarity, and then we'll close the video out. Alright guys, so we got everything working now. We've got all the lights on both sides. Like I said, we went ahead and switched the polarity on that one just like we did over there. Did that. Go ahead and hit the high beams. So and then there's her high beams. So everything's working and looks great. 1,000 times better than what it used to look like. Turn the high beams back on again. So here you guys can kind of get a center shot and then turn the high beams off. Okay, so there's what it looks like now. Alright guys, so today's install was pretty simple and easy. It was fun working on the FR-S and kind of getting to know it a little bit better. After we get completely done with the red TC, I think we're either going to get an FR-S or BRZ next to do a full rebuild on, so you guys can look forward to that. I hope I explained everything pretty good for you guys, but if you have any questions at all, don't be afraid to comment down below and I'll answer as quick as I can. Make sure you like the video. So anyway guys, we're pretty much done with this video. I hope you all liked it. We're not going to have really like a road test or anything because obviously this is not my car and I really didn't get a road test of the halogen bulbs before. But like I said in the last couple clips, you could see what the car looked like with the halogen fog lights. But again guys, if you're wanting to join the Tri-City Psychotics, please do that. We'll have a Facebook page. I'll go ahead and pop it up again here so you guys can go check that out. And you'll see this FR-S on that page. And one last thing, I want to thank Patricia for letting me use her FR-S to film on a little bit and kind of show you guys some stuff on a different car besides a TC. So peace out guys, and remember, build your masterpiece.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cool.